Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's Newsstand, and this is Batman 62. I got on New Comic Book Day, and I read it last night, and I kind of just sat there for a second like, I know Batman's been losing it through this arc, but what did I just read? Am I losing it too? Like, oh, it's so good, but it's so... there are no words. Okay, so it is about the pig, supposedly. And it is by Tom King, and the art is done by Mitch, Gerads, which is just stunning. Like, the way the art is done in this just makes you feel like you're not in reality. Like, it is so perfectly fitting, and the variant was done by Frank Miller, and I like Frank Miller, but for some reason this variant just wasn't, it was meh. It was okay. So we open up and we see Batman, and he's upside down. He's kind of got like a blurry, bloody vision of Pig, and he doesn't know what's going on. And throughout this entire issue, we're going to see very little dialogue. It is more along the lines of Batman's internal monologue. Like, we're reading what he sees or what he says in his head, you know? And he has no idea why he's here. He can't figure it out. So he's like, why are you screaming? Where's this blood? Swallow the blood, breathe the blood. Just get to the battering that you have taped on your chest so you can get free. He's just trying to get, out from upside down and cut his ropes and get free. Well, he does. He's able to. And this cracks me up because he's like talking about the battering. And he's like, understand, sympathize, thank it for its help. What? He just thanked the battering for its help. Like, I can't say I've ever been using scissors and cutting a piece of paper and then been like, thank you, scissors. You did a really good job today. Like, that just cracked me up. I mean, this is really good, but that was so weird. Like, let's thank the battering. Okay, anyways, I digress. That was funny. But he's able to go against Pig, and he hits him right square in the head and knocks him on the ground and goes to do a leaping dive at him, and Pig gets his knife and stabs him right in the belly. And he stabs him deep, like, oh, it looks awful. But we still continue to see this monologue, this what he is thinking, and he says, grab it, pull it out, don't let it break off. He now has the knife though, and he throws it at him. Pig falls over, and he's able to get, his boot on top of him. And then he starts realizing that he's unable to hear. He has no idea what Pig is saying, even if he presses, to try to get him to speak and try to figure out why he's there. He can't hear him. He literally can't hear the man speak. So he stops himself because he's afraid he is going to kill him. And Pig is able to get the knife. And he's like, keep asking questions, keep pretending basically that everything is okay. And Pig takes the knife and starts carving this rancid meat that's hanging around. Ugh, it is really bloody, but the art is so good. It just is so fitting with Pig. It really is. And he doesn't understand. He still doesn't understand what's going on. So he wants to shut Pig up. He goes for his batterings, and then he starts saying, but Bane, what happened? What happened with Alfred? All these things, how did you get here? Basically, the last thing that he remembers is Thomas in issue 60. So he's saying, how did you get here? Try to figure out what is going on. This is just a metaphor. It's just a story. He starts to go on with, Pig's story about in ancient cryptics, the sculptor, Pygmalion. He just kind of, you see this slow descent in his psyche. And then you get this beautiful page. And it's so trippy looking, but it's done so well. He goes through and he says, you had this idea. You were a boy. You were alone. You went to your knees. It was the second time you ever prayed. He's talking about he went to the rooftop with Selena. Then Dick was shot. Alfred's not safe. Bane, Gordon, nobody is safe. None of your children are safe. He goes through all of this. And he's saying, he lost so much. He asked her, she said yes. Speaking of Selena, we know this descent into madness of his all stems from her being a runaway bride. So he's like, I'm lost. Dear God, I'm on my knees. I am lost. So we finally get that Batman admitting that he's done. Like, we've seen it slowly happening, but now he is completely and utterly lost. And, well, he goes back to Pig, and we see that. And their tiny fight ensues. Like, this is a lot of action, but it's really well done. It shows this descent. So we see them standing face to face, and he's like, little pig, let me in, not by the hair, I'm a chinny chin chin. You know, that whole thing. Yeah, I know exactly what, you know what I'm talking about. So he's standing face to face with him, and he looks at him, and he takes the mask. And it is not even the pig, it's Damien. Like, I was like, what the hell did I just read? This is Damien. He's standing there in front of his son, and he hadn't thought it was Damien the whole time. So, he says, you know, evaluate, reassess. This is a metaphor, a myth, a story, a dream, and Damien walks away. Now, I don't believe for a second that this is real. I don't think this really happened. Throughout this thing, he keeps saying, you know, the last thing he remembers is Thomas at the end of 60. So I think something off of the page happened. I think what we're seeing here is, and I'm going to say I freaking called it, but Batman is in a coma. Something happened off the page, and 61, which I actually didn't even review, I'm a slacker, and it was with the little boy. So he had just seen his father, so he goes into this first vision, this dream, this nightmare of him as a little boy. And this boy, unlike Batman, is able to get revenge instantly, you know. His parents died, he slits his throat, and he's able to get instant revenge. And Batman was not. So then he's thinking about this little kid and him as a boy. So it goes to Damien, his son. And we're seeing a series of visions through basically Batman's nightmares, what he doesn't want to happen, through a coma state. And I really, really think that's it, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I don't get it otherwise. Like, I'm lost. I love Batman, and this has been really good. I love seeing this, like, crazy descent into madness. But now I'm like, what did I just read? What is going on? And I love it. I love it. It's so good. And then we get this, like, Naomi thing. Yep, I don't care. But it was really good. Like, this has been consistently good. And I love Tom King, and I think he's a fantastic writer. And I think him paired with Mitch Gerads for this art makes it almost seem like that coma state. So, absolutely, really, really good issue. Really good. I can't say anything bad except for that, like, thank the batarang thing. Oh my God, it's so cringy. Okay, that is all I have for today. Let me know what you guys thought of this issue, or if you think he is in a coma state, because I really, really do. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.